Okay, so the last couple of years in crypto have been, well, a total roller coaster. With the markets all over the place and just so much noise, one question keeps popping up again and again, and it's a big one. It really gets to the heart of what this whole industry is trying to become.
Beyond the hype, beyond the speculation, what are people actually building with this technology? Are we still just making cool things for other crypto people? Or are we finally starting to solve real problems for the rest of the world? We've been asking this for years. Well, it turns out the best time to find the answer is when things get quiet.
That's because when a bear market hits, all the hype just evaporates. And that's when the serious builders, they get to work. So to figure out what's really going on, we decided to peek inside the Solana Incubator and check out their latest group of startups. These are the companies they're betting on to be the next big thing. All right, here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with what the incubator is all about. Then we'll dive into some startups that are connecting crypto to the real world. After that, we'll look at some new financial tools being built for crypto itself. We'll also check out some projects that are supercharging the whole ecosystem, and then we'll wrap it all up and see what this tells us about what's coming next. So, the Solana Incubator's mission is actually pretty simple. They want to drive real-world adoption. It's all about finding teams that are focused on things you can actually do on-chain, especially now, in a bear market, when all the fluff is gone and only the dedicated teams are left standing.
First up, let's talk about connecting to the real world. We're going to look at two companies that are using crypto to tackle problems in huge industries. Problems that have absolutely nothing to do with DeFi or NFTs, but everything to do with massive everyday markets.
And this quote right here from Kai, the CEO of Zinta, man, it just hits the nail on the head. He's talking about trying to send large business payments across Africa. And this isn't some tiny niche issue. This is about the basic financial plumbing for an entire continent. It's a huge pain point. And just look at the difference here. The old way is this tangled mess of 54 different regulators, payments that take 3 to 5 days to clear, and constant issues with having enough cash on hand. Zinta's solution, they just cut right through all of that with a single, simple API that uses stablecoins. It's a total game changer. And get this isn't just an idea on a whiteboard. It's already working. They've processed over $140 million in transactions already. That number is more than just impressive. It's proof that there is a massive real-world demand for this, and crypto was the missing piece to finally make it happen.
Okay, now for a completely different but just as real problem, this one comes from Fiona, the founder of GenPulse. After struggling with hair loss, she had this light bulb moment. The real problem wasn't just the condition itself, it was about who owned and controlled her health data.
So here's the crucial shift. The way it works now, for basically all of us, is that we generate all this incredibly valuable health data, but it's the middlemen, the telehealth companies, the data brokers, who are making money off of it. GenPulse completely flips that script. They're building a platform where you own your health data, and you can choose to sell it directly to researchers. And people are clearly ready for this. GenPulse has already hit $1 million in revenue and is growing at an incredible 67% every single month. That is just explosive growth. They started with hair analysis, but now they're expanding into skin, dental, and more. It just goes to show that giving people control of their data isn't just a nice idea, it's a seriously powerful business model.
All right, let's switch gears. While some teams are solving problems out in the real world, others are busy fixing some of the biggest challenges inside the crypto industry itself. And one of the biggest? Fundraising.
This question really gets to the classic headache for any crypto founder. You've got equity, which is great for protecting investors, but totally locks out your community. And then you've got tokens, which are awesome for community building, but often lack those same protections. It feels like you have to choose one or the other. So, Seedplex looked at this problem and said, what if you didn't have to choose? They came up with something called a venture token. It's designed to be the best of both worlds. You get the strong investor protections of equity, but you also get the wide-open community access and instant liquidity that you get with a token. It's a totally new kind of financial tool.
Now here's another huge financial gap in crypto. In the traditional world, a mature company like Google can just issue bonds to raise money. It's a standard tool. But for a Web3 project that's already launched its token, the main option is to sell more tokens, which can tank the price and make your community really unhappy.
And the size of this opportunity is, well, it's kind of staggering. Just look at this chart. The traditional corporate bond market is worth over 100 times $1 trillion. The on-chain version of that today,
It's basically zero. Zitadel is building the protocol to fill that enormous gap, letting crypto projects raise debt using their tokens as collateral so they don't have to sell them.
Okay, so we've seen real-world apps and new financial tools. Now let's dive into the projects that are building tools to make the whole ecosystem work better, for everyone from the average user to the people who actually run the network.
I absolutely love this analogy because anyone who's used DeFi knows the pain. You go to one website to swap a token. Then you take that new token to a different website to provide liquidity. Then you take that token to a third site to stake it. It's just endless clicking.
Sand.ai wants to fix this with AI. The idea is so simple. You just tell it what you want to do in plain English. Something like, hey, find the highest yield pool for SOL and USDC and put my funds in there. The AI agent then figures out all the steps, does all the transactions for you, and just pings you when it's done. It's about turning a bunch of clicks into a single intention.
And finally, let's talk about a huge problem for the people who literally keep the lights on for the network, the validators. As this validator says, their biggest fear is people unstaking their tokens and moving them somewhere else. Their whole business depends on attracting and keeping that stake.
So the huge shift here is turning idle capital into productive capital. Normally, when you stake your SOL, it's just locked up. It's securing the network, which is great, but you can't do anything else with it. Pi is building a way to tokenize that locked stake. So suddenly, your staked SOL becomes a live asset you can trade or use in DeFi, all while it continues to help secure the network. You get the best of both worlds.
Okay, so we've looked at 6 very different companies solving 6 very different problems. Let's pull back and connect the dots. What does this all tell us? What are the big trends that show us where crypto is actually going?
So what is crypto actually building? Well, based on what we've seen today, 4 clear themes emerge. First, there's a serious focus on real-world utility, solving huge problems in places like African payments and healthcare. Second, we're seeing new sophisticated financial tools being built for crypto founders themselves. Third, AI is being used in a really practical way to make complex things simple for users. And finally, there's this big push to unlock value by making idle assets productive.
You know, this is the kind of stuff that gets built when all the noise fades away and the serious people get to work. This isn't about hype, it's about building real fundamental value both inside and outside the crypto world. And that leaves us with one final exciting thought. If this is the foundation they're laying during the quiet times, just imagine what's going to get built on top of it when the world starts paying attention again.